know that will take care of you if something ever goes wrong with them.
Um, what about and also how should we maintain the e-bike after purchase?
Yeah, so with e-bikes, it's very similar to a regular bike where you would do servicing on them with your local bike shop every year or every few years. With our bikes, usually it's a couple years from the time of purchase to get them serviced. Just little things that we tell our customers is, in the off season, if you're not using your e-bike, it would be good to bring in your battery and store it in a warmer, not a warm climate, but just a room temperature climate, instead of maybe leaving it in storage in a shed where you'll get some negative temperatures, just for the longevity of the cells. That would be our recommendation. We always tell customers, in the 3 months of maybe snow, not so much here locally, but plug in your battery once a month just to make sure that you're keeping those cells healthy as can be.
Oh, okay, I see. And also, when we let's say when we use an e-bike to commute, is there any like radar component that we need to concern?
No, I think the main things are just keeping your battery and your motor safe. And let's say if you're using it for commuting, I would just calculate, your commute distance, as well as how often you're gonna be using it on the weekends. So if you're going to be using it a lot and it's going to be your main source of transportation, I would look for one that gives you the most amount of range. So you're not having to charge your battery, let's say, every night. Our batteries here and our bikes here range from 30 to 80 kilometers in general for one charge on the battery. We have some of our riders that get 100 kilometers out of a ride, so they're not charging for a week or so. But what we always say to customers, 50 kilometers, generally is a good rough estimate for our bikes in general, for what we have, for how light they are, for how big the battery is. But again, what we had talked about before is just really understanding what you're going to be using it for, and then choosing your e-bike based on that. If range is the most important, look for range. If power is the most important, if you're going on hills, then maybe that would be it. If lightweight is the most important, then look for a bike that would be really light. And then again, if mobility is an issue, look for a bike where you can get in and out very quickly, which it would be generally something like this. That's a step-through option where you don't have to step over a bar, and it's easy to get in and out of.
Oh, and also what if we use it like during the rainy and snowing days?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
So, yeah, if you're in Vancouver and you're buying an e-bike from us at eBike BC, all of our bikes are meant for Vancouver conditions. So, just make sure that everything is waterproof. It would be one of the things I would recommend is make sure that you have that, and with a warranty. So, with weather conditions, things can happen and things can get rusty or get a little bit older. If you got a good warranty, and if you store your bike in a dry place, normally everything dries and it's waterproof and everything is protected. So I know all of our bikes are waterproof in all their components, but that's something you should check when looking for an e-bike.
Okay, and also just one question. I'm not so maybe I probably missed that, but so it is possible to use an e-bike with with or without a battery back and forth.
So yes, so the nice thing about these bikes is that you can use them as an e-bike and get pedal assist from them or use your throttle. But let's say if you're going for a small ride and you don't need your bike, you could, for our bikes, you can easily take the batteries off. Or let's say they're charging somewhere, then you would just let them finish charging and then go for your ride and use it as a normal bike as you would. Even if let's say you didn't want to use pedal assist or get support from the motor, you would just leave the pedal assist in zero. At zero, you ride it like a normal bike and you have access to your throttle and your pedal assist that you can change instantly. And maybe we'll walk through that together and we can show you how that works.
Thank you so much for the clarification. And also, like, so, so, so are they, and are they all suitable for different kind of people? Like, is it okay for the kids, or for like senior to use, for elderly people to use?
We have a very mixed group of people that ride e-bikes. Based on, locally here at ICBC, e-bikes are meant for somebody who has their driver's license and older. So I think the rule on them is 16 years and above. Is the rule that we typically would tell customers, and that's a great point. I think one thing customers do need to know as well is when you're looking at an e-bike, make sure that it is compliant to ICBC regulations and that it fits those things. So the bikes that we have designed and built are all compliant with ICBC regulations. So that's max out at a 500 watt motor, 36 to 48 volt battery, 32 kilometers an hour as your max speed. So those are all things that are set by our engineers and our team so that we're following and compliant with ICBC rules, and so that you're not liable if there was an accident that happens. So that's one big thing and good point to check out, is make sure you find one that meets the rules of the road so that you're safe and that you're protected.
Yeah, well said, well said. And also, so, sure, okay. Okay, maybe probably can you just like show us some accessories that is necessary for people when they decide to buy?
Yes, yeah, that's a great point. So our bikes generally come with most of the accessories that customers need, which is a light on the front. We have a back light on the back as well, and these can be turned on from your switches here. So during the day, you obviously wouldn't be using it, but let's say it's getting darker, you would just turn it on from here, and then you have your other accessories that come with our bike are the racks, which you can attach a pannier to. And then you have fenders as well that help, keep the bike a little bit, keep you dry. So those are just some of the little things. And then some of our customers will also add on mirrors on the sides. So those are some add-ons that you can get done as well. But most of our bikes come with most of the accessories that are needed, which are the light and the rack and the fenders. Yeah.